Back to the channel. It's Sunday. Something really creepy happened the other day on the last Trump video that we did. It was weird. Like anytime I added Trump's name to the title of Friday's video, connecting him to the remote viewing Stargate program and the movie Men Who Stare at Goats, which is what we're going to talk about today, it triggered the algorithm to flag the video, and it literally happened in real time. And I was able to unflag the video by just removing Trump's name from the title. So that's odd, isn't it? Especially given everything that's been talked about censorship. Why would they not want Trump's name attached to Men Who Stare at Goats in this Stargate program? I mean, you guys, I literally sat there and toggled the flag on and off by adding and removing his name. So that told me we were over the target. And so this is what today's show is about, because I dug deeper and I found some pretty crazy stuff. Now, when we were connecting Trump's current Stargate AI program to the remote viewing Stargate program from the 1970s, we saw this. Trump staring at a goat, just like the movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats. This was a tweet that Donald Trump Jr. sent out. Now, what makes this even more crazy is that in the movie, as we discussed on Friday, you see Kevin Spacey here, and he says this could be the new golden age for psi research. So there's something going on here, isn't there? So again, the movie's called The Men Who Stare at Goats. It was based off of the Stargate secret program where they were remote viewing. Military CIA program. So let's dive in, you guys. Now, there was this blockchain logo in the movie. It was on this hat. Here it is here. Let's rotate this so you guys can see this compared to what we saw. This was in the movie. This was George Clooney's hat in the company he worked for, which was, they made garbage cans, I believe he said. Now, here's the crazy thing. He made garbage cans. Remember, Trump was riding in a garbage truck? And there's more to this as well. But let's zoom in on his logo. DeWitt Resources. 2 chained blocks. And we noticed in Friday's Decode that it actually matched the proposed site for Stargate AI. This is a mock-up of the proposed site, the center of the Stargate AI project, Trump's project, The Man Who Stares at Goats. I mean, this is shocking, you guys. This is absolutely shocking. And there it is. 2 chained blocks. Now, the reason why this company made this sitemap to resemble 2 chained blocks is because these data centers are specifically made for blockchain and cryptocurrency. They're data mining sites. This will be the core of Trump's project. It's already been announced. So there's something going on here, isn't there? Now, you're not going to believe this. So I went back to the Stargate remote viewing project. This is it right here. There's a whole Wikipedia page on it. Stargate Project, U.S. Army Unit. And the very company who was at the center of this project, which began in 1977, their logo is also a blocked chain. A little bit different variation on it, but there it is. 2 blocks chained together. Stanford Research Center International, Research Institute International is the name of the company. Now, there's a little bit more to this company. I mean, I was just like, wow. Just wow. Because another aspect of Stargate AI that is directly linked to the project is not only these blockchain data centers, but also, if you look at, I went to the headquarters of SRI International, and what do we have here? Their parking structure is even two blocks chained together. Now, this looks like a more modern parking structure compared to the actual headquarter building behind it, which is this. So, this was all about the blockchain going back many, many decades. Now, here's where the plot thickens. Because guess what year SRI International was established? The very year that Donald Trump was born, 1946. And their involvement with the Stargate program didn't happen until 1977, which is another Trump number, of course. There's a lot going on here, isn't there? A lot of synchronicities. Now, to give you a little bit of history about SRI International, they invented the mouse, the computer mouse, in 1964. They actually also sent the first internet message in 1969. They also planned Disneyland in 1953. And most recently, are you ready for this? Let's go into the chat. SRI International developed the first artificial intelligence, Siri. Yes, Siri was created by SRI International. You can almost see it in their name, SRI Siri, right? But there's a different aspect to it. So now we have a direct link between the Stargate program and modern artificial intelligence. Siri, of course, is Iris in reverse. Iris, the all-seeing eye, which was also a common theme in the movie Men Who Stare at Goats. The all-seeing eye was called, I think they called it the chakra or the Jedi chakra. And this is what it was all about. This is what remote viewing is. It's an all-seeing eye. It's being able to see everything all at once. Now, I'm going to give you my theory on where all of this is headed, okay? Because the Bible says they will want to be like gods. Well, God can see everything all the time, can't he? How are they going to achieve that? Well, I'm going to get into that a little bit later in the show. But it's important to note, I watched a video from Truth Stream Media, and they described what was called a panopticon. Many of you have probably seen the video. The panopticon was in a way in which they built prisons and hospitals and all kinds of buildings so that the inhabitants or patients all existed spread all about against a wall in a circle. And in the middle was the observation platform or viewing station. And from that central viewing station, a person could look out and observe everybody all at once. It was called a panopticon. And I was like, whoa, that's exactly what we're working on. Now, if you know TruthStream Media, it takes some months to put together their very well documented and very well researched videos. Is it an accident we're all working on this at the same time? This all-seeing eye aspect to Stargate AI, and then it linking back to a secret Stargate program, which was all about an all-seeing eye. Are these accidents? I do not believe so. I believe this is all for a reason. We're being told the truth about what's coming and what's happening right now. So, in their video, they described the panopticon, the all-seeing eye. AI surveillance. This is where it's all headed. They're just doing it digitally now instead of the shape of a building. Now, this company, SRI International, the focus of today's show, was neck deep in the history of Trump's AI than you could ever imagine. Are you ready for this? In 1966, that pivotal year, the Gemini year, SRI's Artificial Intelligence Center began working on Shaky the Robot. Let's find it on the page. This show will be one for the record books because we're going to expose some insane history that is going to give you pause, regardless of what side of the aisle you fall on. Artificial, if I could spell, Intelligence Center, 1966, Shaky the Robot, literally the first robot, the first AI robot ever made. The first mobile robot to reason about its actions. It had a camera, a rangefinder, and bump sensors. Their AI center at SRI made a second robot named Flaky. So there was Flaky and Shaky. And that robot had the ability to procedurally reason. They called it procedural reasoning system. Basically what it is it's real-time reasoning. They also had intelligent agents for AI. Intelligent agents perceive their environment. So I'm going to put a link to this so you guys can look this up yourself. This is the SRI International Wikipedia page, the company that was at the center of the Stargate program. And then it was at this point, I just about fell out of my chair. Because SRI came up with the very first AI to map pathways in the body to more quickly find drugs. Exactly what Larry Ellison said they would do to find the cure for cancer, that he said was floating around in our blood. SRI performed a study in the 1990s, which led to modern self-cleaning ovens. In the 2000s, SRI worked on pathway tools software for use in bioinformatics and systems biology to accelerate drug discovery using artificial intelligence and symbolic computing techniques. It could visualize genomic databases, genes within a chromosome, complete biochemical pathways, and full metabolic maps of organisms, all using artificial intelligence. Wow. What else did they work on that Larry Ellison said almost verbatim? Well, in 2014, February, let's look that up. They announced a photonics-based testing technology called Zelle for the detection and characterization of rare circulating tumor cells from blood samples. Remember, Larry Ellison said that cancer was just floating around in the blood. So far, he's essentially quoted two specific technologies using AI from a secret Stargate program. Link to the movie Men Who Stare at Goats. Let's keep reading here. The test is aimed at cancer-specific biomarkers for breast, lung, prostate, colorectal, leukemia cancers that circulate in the bloodstream in minute quantities, potentially diagnosing those conditions earlier. I hope you're awake. I'm not so sure, and I don't have any proof of this, that these people or Trump was somehow involved in this company and the original Stargate remote viewing program. Because they talk about being able to have clairvoyance and precognition, the ability to see the future which is how someone would be able to amass such riches. Are you ready for this? Guess what else SRI worked on? Biometrics and surveillance. This is our future. Another topic that Larry Ellison talked about. Here it is, products and solutions. Let's read. It maintains a portfolio that includes biometric identification systems, real-time video processing systems, integrated video and sensor exploitation solutions, and video test tools. Oh, but Casey, they're only going to use biometrics for the illegals. So both Trump and his billionaire team are now conclusively linked to the first AI, the first robot, the use of AI to find drugs, and the original Stargate program through their very same ambitions that they're working on that was just announced weeks after Trump won the presidency. Now, SRI was also responsible for the first internet transmission. And when did that happen? On the anniversary of the JFK assassination in 1977. And that was the year that they combined with the Stargate program. The year that there was the first internet transmission. So if you look at the long game that these people are up to, you would have to assume that first they rolled out internet technology. Then they rolled out all of the hardware to put a laptop and computer in the hands of every single man, woman, and child, or a mobile phone with internet technology. And now they're ready to convert everything to artificial intelligence now that they have the technology in our hands. And it's for this reason that I believe that this remote viewing aspect of the Stargate AI was all about using the mind to somehow tie into the network. We saw this play out in a couple of films, didn't we? Remember the film Transcendence, where Johnny Depp tied his mind into the network and he became all-seeing and all-knowing? The same plot happened in the movie Lucy, where she merged with the internet. And we've seen it in countless other films. Why do you think that Elon Musk is trying to hardwire the brain? Because once you hardwire the brain, you now have access to everything. All of it. And much of it will go through these Stargate data centers. It's a portal into the infinite. That's why they call it a Stargate. Remote viewing. And guess who they're going to be remote viewing? You and me. So, I found some other very profound and weird synchronicities. And this was just me going on doing searches, right? In my investigation into this. SRI, the company I just told you about, which sounds a lot like SSRI, doesn't it? Which is a drug for depression. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. And back when I was in pharmaceutical sales, I used to sell a drug that competed against SSRIs. The drug was called Remeron. I used to sell Remeron. And the mechanism of action of Remeron was different than the SSRIs. The SSRIs would basically inhibit the I can't even remember, the neurons, and then they would create all this free-flowing norepinephrine in the brain, or serotonin, I'm sorry. It worked on the serotonin. And then that was supposed to elevate the mood of a person because you had all this extra serotonin floating around. But what are the odds? SSRI and SRI, the two have to be connected. Well, here's what I found, unrelated to the drug. These were the campaign contributions of SSRI. Or SRI, now I'm getting confused, International. Look at this. This was in 2024 for the election. Almost all their money went into the Democrats' party of recipients. 16,000. Wait. Oh, wow. Are you kidding me? Did they erase Trump off of here? No, here it is. Okay, here we go. All federal candidates, here it is. $71,000 went to the Democrats, right? And only 3,662 went to the Republicans. Well, guess who it went to in the Republicans? You guessed it, Donald Trump. So what does that mean? See, here's the Democrats. They're all in blue. Kamala got 55,000 from them. And then it was spread out against all these other Democrats, individuals. And Trump got the rest only for the Republicans. So why would they give to both sides of the aisle? This doesn't make any sense. And why just him in that small amount? And then all the rest of the blue? I mean, is there even any other red on here? I don't see any. Well, there's several pages. But he got the lion's share of the minute amount that was given to the Republicans. I hope this is making sense. I'm probably butchering this right now, but that's what you're looking for. And Trump got most of it for the Republicans. So what does this mean? I don't know what it means. There's something at play here, isn't there? There's something at play. Now, in the movie, Men Who Stare at Goats, George Clooney's character talks about time travel. Do you see how all this connects now? Trump, time travel, Men Who Stare at Goats, time travel. And let me give you an example. I looked up the script, and in the movie, they have this chant that they do, these super soldiers. And they repeat it in the movie a couple times. And it mentions moving in space and time. They literally say, carry my body through space and time. And precognition was a stated feature in the real life Stargate program. In fact, when I looked into the Stargate program and dug deeper, remote viewers actually achieved greater than 65% accuracy by the end of the program, which is statistically significant, isn't it? One viewer was able to locate a lost Soviet spy plane in 1976, and it's also claimed that the viewers were able to identify spies, locate other Soviet weapons and technologies, such as a nuclear sub, and they were able to find lost Scud missiles and plutonium in North Korea. So, what next? What does this connection between these two Stargate programs mean for our future? Well, as I said, once people are all Neuralinked, they will be one with the AI, one with every camera in the world. This will be the final phase of true transhumanism. And what they will give us in return is they will modulate away diseases. They will literally send signals through the vagus nerve and cure everything. But at what cost? The Bible says those who preserve life will lose it, and those who lose their life will preserve it. Maybe because what will be required in order to get to this technology to cure yourself will probably be you signing your allegiance to the beast. Worshipping the image of the beast. I'll probably say, if you worship the image of the beast, we will give you a long, long, healthy life. And many people will do it. Now, today, of course, is the Super I'm calling it the Super Bowel Toilet Show. And I say that, it's weird because I had named the show before. I kind of looked at some of these ads already because I took a sneak peek because they always release the ads early, right? And I'm looking at these ads, and of course, there's a bunch of potty jokes. They're literally people passing gas in the ads. I'm like, that is prescient, isn't it? So the toilet is full, the swamp is full. And never forget, does anybody remember when Doc Brown from Back to the Future invented time travel and how? Let's see who gets the answer, because there's some smart people in the room. When did Doc Brown from Back to the Future invent time travel and how? And while we're waiting for the answer on that, day after tomorrow, we'll be decoding the 1979 Super Trump album cover. I call it Super Trump because it's all about Trump. And it shows a plane, a literal plane, flying into the Twin Towers 22 years before it happened. And the album won Grammy Awards at the 22nd Annual Grammys. So 1979, 22 years later, 9/11 happens, and the album won the 22nd Grammys. And there's so much more I'm going to show you. I looked at the front and back cover. There will be new information for those of you that have already seen the Supertramp cover. I gave it the Enter the Stars treatment deep dive. So, did anyone get the answer? When did Doc Brown invent time travel? Let's go into the chat here. Yes, Breakfast in America is the name of the album. Daryl? Yes, the toilet. He discovered it. He slipped off of the porcelain toilet and hit his head. And the date that he discovered it was the 5th of November. Election Day, 2024. The 5th of November. And we know that that is a portal date. It's Samhain, the festival of Samhain. And we found out, too, that the toilet that Doc Brown said he invented it on represented the swirling spiral when you flush the toilet. The dirty water of unclean spirits being let through the portal. So, crazy times, right, you guys? Crazy times. Here we are. I can't wait to cover some of these Super Bowl ads. We'll also do the halftime show. Hopefully I can get a copy of it. We can't really play much of it because they're really strict on copyright, but we'll definitely do screenshots and anything that I find. But I do have the ads already. Most of them anyway, pulled up. And so we'll take a look at that. Wow, R. Jones says Elvis died on the toilet. Wow. Do you guys have any questions about all that we just covered? There's a myth, and I don't know if it's been debunked or not, but some people say that when you flush the toilet in the northern hemisphere, that it actually goes one direction. But if you flush the toilet in the southern hemisphere, it goes a different direction. I don't know if that's been debunked or not, but anyone from Australia maybe could tell us the answer to that. All right. I think people probably slept in for the Super Bowl today. Normally we got about twice the crowd, but that's okay. We'll be back tomorrow with the Super Bowl. The Coriolis effect is a scam, says Dr. Savage. Force field. Clockwise is north. Other countries don't flush paper. They put it in a bin. Ew, that's disgusting. Yeah, when I was in France, some of the toilets had bidets. I was like, how do you get clean just by rinsing? That doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's what they do. Yeah, another plane crash. I heard about that one in Alaska. They actually found the plane. So we were now at 3 plane crashes. 10 people perished. And guess what? Guess where they found the plane? On a moving ice sheet that they said traveled 5 miles a day. So it was dangerous. So they're trying to recover the bodies right now. It's very sad what happened. 10 people. They were on their way to Nome, Alaska. So more fire and ice. It was a season full of fire and ice, wasn't it, this winter? Lots and lots of fire in the winter, which is something we had talked about last year. We said this would become part of the spiritual activity moving forward. And now here we are. There was also a huge earthquake. You hadn't heard about that. Originally, it was in the Cayman Islands. They originally rated it at 8.0, and then they downgraded it to like a 7 point something. And they thought there was going to be they thought there was going to be a tsunami, but there was none. So there was a tsunami alert over the course of last night. All right, what else is going on? So those are pretty much the headlines going into the stupor bowel. I call it the stupor bowel. It's a big joke now. And you could bet it's going to be over the top, you guys. There's going to be a crazy halftime show. I already know there is. There is every year. We talked about some of the past halftime shows and how crazy they were. I think the most profound one in my memory since I've been decoding Super Bowl halftime shows was when J-Lo had her own daughter in a cage along with a bunch of other children. And they were literally like flying around. I was like, does anyone see what's happening here? And then later we find out her connection to Diddy, and he was probably doing a lot of the same stuff. They haven't really gone into that aspect of it yet. Right now, it's mostly centered on adults, which in my opinion, a lot of these adults are probably consenting adults. Not to say he wasn't, drugging people and doing all that stuff, but there were some underage people that this was going on with. I guess they did tap into the whole Bieber thing, but wow, kids in cages. Wow. And everyone's just applauding like it's normal. You can look it up right now. Jennifer Lopez, daughter, Super Bowl halftime show, and you'll see her in a cage. It's unbelievable. Yeah, they're gaslighting us for sure. For sure. Well, not to mention, during these Super Bowls is when most of the human trafficking happens. They even admit it. So it was very inappropriate to have children in cages. I mean, wow. This is the frustration we deal with trying to wake people up to this spiritual activity. Another very profound halftime show we did was, I think it was Beyonce. Yeah, it was Beyonce. And it was COVID, I think. Yes, it was the month before COVID hit. And I think at that Super Bowl, they let people in. Like they hadn't locked down America yet. But yet in the Super Bowl, we found a coronavirus molecule. Literally, there was a spike protein inside the actual animations that were flashing on the stage underneath her feet. So they knew what was happening. These are all rituals. So, all right. Yeah, sports are distractions. Remember, here's the biggest takeaway from all this, okay? Sports are designed to keep you in the right-left paradigm. The whole sports, what's the word I'm looking for? Genre of sports is designed from a very early age to get you into team warfare, tribalism, team warfare. It's to get you pre-programmed to choose sides and have allegiances based on, someone's likability or shared values. And so if they can train you up from a very young age to give into that, and to choose one side, a necessary evil, then it translates into politics. And this is how they keep us all asleep. The ancient Romans knew how to do it. They had the Colosseum. We did a whole show on what's called the Hippodrome, which was the original name of some of these Colosseums, the Hippodrome. And essentially it was basically like Gladiator. They would run chariots around this course. And they were smart. Like these people, the leaders would literally make this Hippodrome event coincide with, I can't even remember. I have to go back and look, but it was like either the feast days or, Lent. They would coincide this with Lent. So when people were done with Lent, they would go to the Hippodrome and watch people tear each other to shreds. These were the first teams. Because one side would wear one color jersey and the other side would wear a different color jersey. So you could identify them from up in the stands. So this was one of the first times they tried to unite paganism with Christianity. And the Christians showed up. So, yes, bread and circuses. Asterix. Yes, Asterix and obelisk. Remember we did that decode on that comic? I'm trying to pull from memory here. It's buried in there somewhere. But yeah, there was a chariot race, remember? And they had the Williams sisters in the chariot race. And like Trump was in it too. Oh, and there was a chariot called Coronavirus. Remember that? In the asterisk and obelisk. Let's look it up really quick. You're not going to believe this since we're talking about the Super Bowl. Now, understand the asterisk and obelisk is the bolus and phallic. It's the trilon and perisphere. It's all the same. It's a round circle and a pointed blunt or a pointed instrument. Let's see if this comes up. See how good Google does on this. Now, this was before it ever happened. They show a guy in a mask. This is a literal screenshot from it right here. On a golden eagle. Whoa, the golden age. On a golden eagle. Here we go. We're here right now. We're here right now. Now, the asterisk and obelisk can also spiritually mean, let's pull this up. It can also spiritually mean open image in a new tab. Hold on. The Washington Monument and the Rotunda. Okay. Same thing. The Golden Age. Here comes our favorite straight from Rome. Oh, we're in Caesars. That's where it's going to take place. The Super Bowl. The champion with however many victories. The one they call the masked Auriga. The great coronavirus and its faithful bacillus, which of course is a bacteria, right? It's here, you guys. It's here. Wow. What a trip. All right, I'm back in the chat. Thanks to whoever reminded me of that in the chat. So I love you guys. Yeah, the Elon Musk salute. Good job. Now, Auriga meant something too. Remember that, Dr. Savage? I can't remember what Auriga meant, but it had an aspect to it as well. Auriga. The Doge is a political position in Venice. Wow. Bacchus. Caesar, Trump, and Pager all equal 47, and Trump is the 47th. Superdome Stadium looks like a giant button. Yeah, it sure does, doesn't it? The nuclear button. Much love to you, too. I see the eye of the needle. NHL has gone woke with a syrupy vid about couples in hockey. Wow. Auriga is the charioteer constellation. Thanks, Chris. National Pizza Day today. Oh boy. Falls on the Super Bowl. Um, Netanyahu gave Trump a golden pager. Are you kidding me? Yeah, everything's the golden age. It makes sense because, everything that Trump did up to this point was gold plated, right? All right, you guys. Well, I know it's going to be a long day for some of you. Um, and so we'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to start the show a little bit later tomorrow. So if you're up late with friends or whatever, you can still catch the show in the morning. I think I set it for like 8 a.m. instead of 7:30. Anyway, love each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the stupid bowel. Much love, everybody.